Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to another exciting episode of Colney Talk Podcast, your bite-sized breakdown show. I'm your host Alex. First-time listeners, glad to have you here. And to my returning guests, thank you for sticking with me. As always, I talk a bit about the Arsenal match and pick out my top 3 Arsenal players who shined and one odd player not good enough I get to call out. After a challenging stretch without a win, this result feels like a breath of fresh air. It is a good feeling, and it's a great start to pick things up from where we left. This international break has given us a chance to really settle things down, get ourselves back into where we should be, and keep it going. So let's get right to it. First half was largely positive for Arsenal. Right from the whistle, we looked to assert ourselves. Bukayo Saka opened the scoring with a stunning goal just 15 minutes in. It's a classic Saka moment. He picks up the ball from Odegaard, doing his clever flicks and drives and keeping defenders in a bind, and gives him a chance to drive into the box before he just unleashes a powerful shot into the far corner. Funny thing is, oftentimes I would assume where Saka might be, positioning that shot, but now he's making everyone guess, and that's even another added quality that he's adding to his game, and that's immense. That early goal set the tone for the match and got the home crowd buzzing. It got everyone, really gearing up for more and really giving us that early sense of a win that we need to claim. Because going into this game, I'm not going to lie, I felt some level of nerves in terms of confidence, the way this team would really play, if they had some rust, if they had to just correct a few things. But this early goal settled those nerves for me, gave Arsenal a chance to reflect that dominance they had as they played, as we possessed the game with our passing and created numerous chances. That really was a lift. And Nottingham Forest keeper had chaos delivered in his box. I mean, a lot for him to contain, making several excellent saves to keep his side in it. But in fact, all of Arsenal's 11 first half shots came from inside the box, showcasing our attacking intent. Saka was particularly influential. I mean, being involved in early moments, drives, and dribbles, that was a preview of what they were going to have to deal with, especially coming from Saka. That's nothing new. And we had that going for us, giving us a chance to drive forward. Odegaard is the chef that creates this, and then he serves it to Saka to do the damage. And for sure, he definitely took care of that. I think given the sheer level of confidence we had, the way we possessed the game, managed everything, shut down every threat that seemed to wanted to create itself out, we should have scored more. We should have done a bit more. But that's just an after effect of how much we had handled this team to the point where now we've done enough. Now we need to deliver. And that's how the weary moments for me came in, where it wasn't smooth sailing. There were a few weary moments that needed to be addressed going forward. Despite our dominance, there were times when our passing became sloppy in the midfield. Forest managed to break us on a couple of times, and I don't expect it to be like 100% dominant and not having Forest a chance for them to grow into the game, even though we didn't give them a lot of time. In fact, it went way past the 30th minute mark in the first half for them to do anything. But even at that, had they been more clinical, they could have made us pay for some of those mistakes. Not to mention the number of yellow cards Arsenal started receiving. I was thinking, how much would we continue the way we were, or would we have to alter our game plan? Either staying aggressive or milk the time for the first half and kind of reassess how we're going to play. So that, was a lot to think about as the game went on. And additionally, while we were creating chances, we should have been more ruthless in front of goal. Gabriel Jesus had a couple of opportunities that he failed to convert, and we could have easily gone into the halftime with a bit more comfortable lead if we had capitalized on those chances. That to me is worth mentioning because we can't afford to have these players leave their lunches on the table. The amount of chances we generated was impressive. The dominance that we reflected in how we handled the game, it needed to match with the score that we should have put up. So we ended up the half 1-0 up, but that's worth mentioning. So we're moving to the second half. Arsenal continued to show their quality. Thomas Partey came in as a halftime substitute for Jorginho and made an immediate impact by a curling shot from outside the box just 6 minutes after his introduction. That was exactly what we needed, and it was a bit of magic to put some distance between us and Forest. That was great. Got the crowd even more alive because we knew we needed that second goal. We just couldn't deal with just that 1-0 score, and the confidence that we needed was lifted. It pushed us further and got the team in a different gear in how we had to deal with any other thing that was coming, which gave us the chance for the third goal. Ethan Nwaneri, he came into the game and capped off an impressive performance with his first Premier League goal, and it was incredible. His composure in front of goal was remarkable for someone so young, and it is exciting to see him getting involved at this level. I would say it's a perfect game for him to come in and shine because there's never going to be a perfect time. Often the case would be to have a comfortable lead and get these young players in. A 2-0 lead is good enough, but you never know how things could turn around. But he came in and he was the joy to watch. He glides effortlessly and makes good decisions with his passes, and that's crucial. And there's a lot of that I think we would enjoy out of his game. But what a way to introduce himself to the league. What a way to get himself right into the level that we are hoping for him to show. But again, I don't think there is any expectation on my part as far as what I want him to do. He's already doing more than enough, especially for his age. The talent that he has is just going way beyond years of other players. So that was great for him. Although in the second half, there were weary moments as well that gave me some more things to just think about. After Partey's goal, it felt like we had dropped our intensity slightly. While it's understandable to manage the game when we're leading comfortably, we can't afford to take our foot off the gas completely. Forest had a few moments where they looked like they might get back into the game with some set pieces that caused us some real problems. Surely I was not comfortable in those moments. I don't expect to have it like a steamroll without any worry at all, because that's what the challenge is. You come in, you compete, and make yourselves known. So even when we had some of those set pieces that we had to defend, which extended into corners, there was a rebounded shot in our goal that could have gone in, which if it did, could have turned it a little bit more shaky and we had to tighten things up, but thankfully it didn't. And we handled the rest as we should and, came out of this game with a clean sheet. And that's enough for me to be grateful for, a lot for me to applaud the team and how we managed everything. I mean, we ended the game with a comfortable win and a clean sheet. So that's exactly the outcome, no matter what. And I feel that that's what I'm hoping for the team to take as we carry on going forward with these other sets of games. So it's a great feeling, but those weary moments, it's not to point out a negative, but just pointing on things that can start with the cracks. It's a lot to even highlight with the players that came in to start the game. For example, Jesus, Jorginho, those were two players that we're hoping for them to shine more. And again, it's just one game, but it's to really hope that they crank it up before we revert back to our starters. And overall good feeling in this game. Now, let me highlight my top 3 players who really stood out for this match. First player, Saka. Early impact, opening the scoring with an excellent strike from his combination with Odegaard. His creativity, he was involved in multiple attacking moves throughout the half and creating several chances. The there's no moment that is ever dull when Saka is in the ball within the box. Like, it's always a guessing game. And again, his work rate, he was defensively contributing when we were, stuck back in and trying to get the ball in front of us, and when he combined with Timber on that left side, it was noticeable when he would track back and get things, shifted off from that standpoint. And his confidence, I mean, he played with a lot of flair, and he showed why he's one of our key players, one of the most, if not the only creative player that we know we always feed the ball to do some real damage. And overall, his influence was just, unmatched. In 8 of our shots during the first half alone, that's just coming from him. And his importance is just so glaring, and he was great. I mean, Saka's performance was electric today. He continues to be our game changer. I know we need more, not just only for him. And the way he performed, the way he came in and struck out early, that was just brilliant. Second player, Odegaard, that's not even without a doubt the player that you expect to come in and show out. His playmaking abilities, controlling the tempo of the game, providing the assist for Saka's opener. I mean, his masterclass today was just another level of how much we missed him, but then knowing that he just came in and just kept things humming. His leadership, when we would press, when he would have to drop all the way back to pick up the ball, he led by example, and he kept every one of the players on the assignment when they had to deal with situation of managing any pressure, dealing with the press, playing out the back and creating spaces for us to really pass and get through that press. That was just brilliant. I mean, his vision, come on. I mean, do I even need to say much more? The way he was finding the spaces, making incisive passes, especially with now that we're going to be doing a lot more of this combination with Timber, it's crucial. And that this is a good start. I mean, those crucial breakdown enforces defense is something that we would have to emulate when we're dealing with mid blocks, low blocks, and we know there's no other player than Odegaard doing that. But more importantly, getting that rhythm outset with Timber and Saka for now, for the time being, is really going to be crucial, which he did. And then let's not forget his defensive work rate. He contributed as well, helping out, especially in that midfield area. We did not even think about Rice in this game. I didn't think about Rice in this game. That says a lot. It says two things too as well. Like the players that play in his stead performed very well. It has nothing to do with the team that we played against, but they were very efficient. The way that they played and the way Odegaard contributed to make so much of that rhythm maintain itself was just amazing. His combination play, I mean, one of those his first half 1-2 touches just shows a lot of the chemistry that he had between himself, Saka. In fact, getting Jesus, as well involved. I wish he was able to produce a perfect timing shot with it, because it's becoming increasingly vital that we need more than his combination with Saka when going forward, especially in the box. One of these few things that always irks me is when we have these perfect touches, dominance in the box, and we're not letting off with a shot that is incisive and things that would cause a threat. And, they seem to read each other's movement perfectly. I feel that's another thing that they have to take up a notch. But overall, there is much to at least applaud the way Odegaard did perform, and his return being so monumental for us, it just brings the elegance and intelligence that we need and we've missed, and can help unlock some things that we do lack from some other players. But I'll touch on that much later. Third and final player, Thomas Partey. He was a game changer, really. He came on at halftime and scored the stunning goal that really gave us that comfortable lead to change things up, keep the pressure at bay, and even his physical presence in terms of dominance with midfield defending got up a little bit more. Maybe it could have been a tactic that we needed to do as far as seeing how much we could handle without him in the first half, and then getting him on in the second half. That was just the right call. He was the right player at the moment that we needed in place of Jorginho, and he performed very well. All the clearance and the combination with himself and Merino in disrupting plays that would cause us any kinds of pressure when Forest would counterattack, he did that brilliantly. His distribution in terms of passing range helped us as well as far as transition quickly from defense to attack. So there was a lot from him there. And, like I said, from his crucial interceptions that helped us sniff out any potential threat, there were more than one occasion where he did that, and he made him that impact player from the second half. So that was really amazing. And it became very much the player that we needed to give us that outside shot within the box where we were trying to lay things up either for Saka or Odegaard or Jesus. It was quite unfortunate that I didn't get to see a lot more of that introduction on the left for Trossard, but while we just didn't have much time to deal with that, Partey was there to give us a little bit of that, which in turn, one of those shots were the cause of that second goal. So that was really great. I mean, we need more of that from him or players in that position. Hopefully, we can see Mikel Merino doing a little bit of that. And Partey's impact off the bench was exactly as we needed. I mean, bringing the additional energy in the midfield and the quality that would help secure our victory and give us a lot more security defensively. Now, one player whose performance was underwhelming for me was, Gabriel Jesus. He had missed opportunities where those several chances in the box came, but he failed to convert any in terms of good shots. Lack of influence compared to his usual self. He didn't seem as involved, with the plays that I would see from him. Link-up play in the first half was good, but it felt like it just disappeared in the second. Oftentimes, it contributes to so many things. The way they would play us, the way we would have to change our tactics. But he stayed on for quite some time, and I thought that I would see a little bit more spark from Jesus, but it didn't really show up. His decision making from him, I mean, it all just compounds, right? I mean, he would be in front of goal. It would let him down. He would miss a shot or a touch a bit too much. He would rush into some shots instead of, making some things set up properly. It all seems like it's not there yet. I wouldn't say frustration. Maybe it's a rhythm that hasn't really clicked on. It's something that he needs to find sooner than later, but that all added to how it felt to me as an underwhelming performance. And while Jesus is undoubtedly talented, he seems to be missing, especially in moments that we need to see him shine. I'm still waiting to see him give me one of these great performances for me to call out and give him his flowers, because for a scorer or for someone that can influence these other players that are in front of us to score, it has to happen. I mean, we do know Odegaard being the master orchestrator when it comes to letting our players shine, but so can Jesus, and he can also do that and score. But I'm not necessarily talking about the scoring, because it could come right after. But a good performance is what is needed from him, and I'm asking, where is it? And he needs to find his spark sooner, because we need him firing in some shape or form. He just has to. Now, this 3-0 victory over Nottingham Forest is just what Arsenal needed after a tough run. There are plenty of positives to take away. Saka's brilliance, Odegaard's masterclass, Partey's impact, the team playing defensively and managing the game very well. It all contributes very well to a complete team dominance and an important win. But it's also important that we don't get complacent. We still have areas of improvement, especially maintaining our intensity throughout the match and being clinical in front of goal, clinical in the boxes. We did show those signs of 1-2 touches, but the moments when we just gotta let it rip. We gotta get it going, and we have to be even more clinical because it demands that. I'm excited about what lies ahead. We have shown when we click with Odegaard in the mix, time stops, and it's for us a force to be reckoned with. let's hope we can build on this momentum, because we have a lot that we can tap into and do great things as we go ahead in the next few fixtures. All right, that will do it for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, if you enjoyed today's episode, like, subscribe, and share with your fellow Gunners. Until next time, take care.